Hello and welcome. Let's be honest for a moment. Is that favorite armchair of yours starting to feel a little deeper than it used to? Is the simple act of getting up from the dinner table or carrying in that one last bag of groceries starting to feel like a major event? If you found yourself thinking, I just don't have the strength I used to, you are not alone. And more importantly, you're in the right place. You see, this isn't just a feeling. It's a well-documented process. Research shows that after the age of 50, we can lose muscle mass at a rate of 1 to 2% every single year. But what's even more surprising is that our muscle strength can decline even faster, by as much as 3% per year after age 60. By the time we reach our 80s, some studies show that up to half of us could be dealing with significant muscle loss. For decades, we've been told this is just a normal, unavoidable part of getting older. But what if I told you that's only part of the story? What if the key to slowing this process down and even rebuilding some of that lost strength isn't found in some futuristic pill, but right in your own kitchen pantry? That's the secret we're going to uncover today. What doctors and nutritionists are learning about how specific foods can directly fight back against this decline. So if you've been telling yourself, well, this is just what it feels like to be 70 or 80, I am here today to respectfully and powerfully challenge that idea. You have more control over your strength, your balance, and your independence than you might believe. In the next 25 minutes, we're going on a journey. We're going to count down the top 10 foods that new research reveals can help you reclaim your muscle health. This isn't just a list. The challenge we're talking about has a medical name, sarcopenia. It comes from the Greek words sarco for flesh and penia for loss. It sounds intimidating, but it's simply the medical term for the progressive, age-related loss of not just muscle size, but muscle strength and function. In 2016, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention even officially recognized it as a disease. Sarcopenia is the reason why stairs can feel steeper, jars seem tighter, and our balance can feel a bit wobbly. It's a major factor behind the increased risk of falls and fractures, and it can significantly impact our quality of life and our ability to live independently. Now, our goal today is ambitious: to give you a clear, science-backed nutritional plan to combat sarcopenia. To do that, we'll be drawing on the latest research and guidelines from some of America's most trusted health institutions, including the National Institute on Aging, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and the Mayo Clinic. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to count down the top 10 powerhouse foods that form your nutritional arsenal against muscle loss. We'll start at number 10 and work our way to the single most important food at number 1. For each food, we'll break down 3 things: why it works, based on the simple science; how you can easily get more of it into your diet with practical tips; and most importantly, how it fits into the bigger picture of reclaiming your strength. And you'll definitely want to stick around for our top 3. The food at number 1 contains a special nutrient that scientists are calling the master switch for turning on muscle growth in older adults. It's a true game changer. And of course, a quick but very important reminder: I am not a doctor. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice from your own physician. Always consult your personal healthcare provider with any questions you have about your health, or before making any significant changes to your diet or exercise routine. All right, let's dive in. Coming in at number 10 on our list are the humble but mighty leafy greens, specifically spinach and kale. Now, you might think of leafy greens for vitamins, and you'd be right. But their secret weapon against muscle weakness is a mineral: magnesium. Think of your muscles like tiny engines. Every single time you contract a muscle, to stand up, to lift a glass, to walk across the room, it requires energy. Magnesium is the spark plug in that engine. I think of my Aunt Mary. She was complaining about persistent muscle cramps and feeling just drained all the time. Her diet was decent, but very low in green vegetables. Her doctor suggested she focus on adding more magnesium-rich foods. She started adding a big handful of spinach to her morning scramble, and within a few weeks, she told me she felt a noticeable difference in her energy and fewer cramps at night. Your action step is simple and requires no fancy cooking. Start by adding one handful of fresh spinach or kale to something you already eat every day. Blend it into a smoothie. You won't even taste it. Wilt it into your morning eggs or oatmeal. Toss it into your soup or pasta sauce at the very end of cooking. The goal is to make it an automatic habit. Now, it's important to mention if you're on blood thinners like warfarin, you should talk to your doctor before suddenly increasing your intake of leafy greens, as their vitamin K can interfere with your medication. And persistent muscle cramps or weakness should always be discussed with your healthcare provider, as they can have many causes. So we've given our muscle engines their spark. Now let's talk about the system that helps our body use calcium and maintain balance. That brings us to number 9. At number 9, we have a breakfast classic, fortified milk and cereals. The key player here is vitamin D. For years, we've known vitamin D is crucial for helping our bodies absorb calcium and build strong bones. But newer research is showing it's just as important for the muscles themselves. Vitamin D receptors are found directly on muscle tissue, and having adequate levels is linked to better muscle strength, improved balance, and a lower risk of falls. In fact, some studies have found that taking vitamin D supplements can increase muscle strength and reduce fall risk, particularly in those who are deficient. Many of us, especially in the northern half of the country or those who spend more time indoors, don't get enough sun to make all the vitamin D we need. That's why fortified foods are so brilliant. They add this essential sunshine vitamin right into our diet. A friend of mine, a retired teacher named David, was worried about his balance. He'd had a close call with a fall. His doctor tested his vitamin D and found it was quite low. Along with a supplement, his doctor recommended he be intentional about getting fortified foods. David switched to a fortified cereal and milk for breakfast each morning. It was a small change, but it was part of a strategy that helped him feel more stable on his feet. Your action step is to check the labels on your milk or soy, almond, and oat milks, and your favorite breakfast cereal. Look for the words fortified with vitamin D. A single cup of fortified milk can provide about 15% of your daily needs, and many cereals are fortified with 10% or more per serving. It's an effortless way to start your day with a dose of this muscle-supporting vitamin. While it's hard to get too much vitamin D from food alone, if you're taking a high-dose supplement, it's wise to be under a doctor's supervision. And any issues with balance or falls should be immediately reported to your doctor, as they can have many causes. We've covered a key mineral and a key vitamin. Now let's talk about the healthy fats that protect our muscle cells from damage. This brings us to number 8. Coming in at number 8 is a category of small wonders: nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds are nutritional powerhouses for a few reasons. First, they provide high-quality plant-based protein and healthy fats. But their hidden benefit is their antioxidant content. Think of it this way. The process of living and aging creates exhaust fumes in our cells, a type of damage called oxidative stress. This damage can harm our muscle cells and contribute to inflammation, which accelerates muscle loss. Antioxidants, like vitamin E found in almonds, are like cellular cleanup crews. They neutralize this damage. Furthermore, walnuts and chia seeds are packed with a specific type of omega-3 fatty acid called ALA, which our bodies use to fight inflammation. My own grandfather, a man who loved his workshop, started keeping a jar of mixed nuts on his workbench. He said it kept him from reaching for cookies. He didn't know all the science, but he knew it gave him steady energy. He was on to something. That combination of protein, fiber, and healthy fats is perfect for avoiding energy crashes and feeding your body what it needs. The goal is a small handful, about a quarter cup or 30 grams, most days of the week. Sprinkle chopped walnuts on your oatmeal or yogurt. Add a tablespoon of chia seeds to a smoothie or pudding. Or simply keep a small bag of unsalted almonds with you for a smart, muscle-friendly snack. Nuts are calorie-dense, so a small handful is all you need. If you have difficulty chewing, nut butters are a fantastic alternative. Just choose ones without added sugars or hydrogenated oils. So we've protected our cells with antioxidants. Next, let's look at a fantastic plant-based food that delivers not just protein, but another critical nutrient for our nerves. Let's move on to number 7. At number 7, we have some of the most affordable and versatile foods on the planet: beans and lentils. Beans and lentils are champions of plant-based protein and fiber, but they also deliver something crucial for muscle health that often gets overlooked: B vitamins. Our nerves are the telephone wires that carry signals from the brain to the muscles, telling them to move. B vitamins, especially B1, thiamine, B6, pyridoxine, and B12, cobalamin, are essential for maintaining the health of these nerves and ensuring those signals are transmitted clearly and effectively. As we age, our ability to absorb certain B vitamins, particularly B12, can decline because of lower stomach acid production. A diet rich in beans and lentils helps replenish our supply of these vital nerve-supporting nutrients. I once spoke with a woman in her late 70s who had transitioned to a more plant-based diet for her heart health. She was amazed at how energetic she felt. She made a big pot of lentil soup every week. She was getting a double benefit: heart-healthy fiber and the protein and B vitamins her muscles and nerves needed to thrive. Aim to include beans or lentils in your meals 3 to 4 times a week. You don't have to cook them from scratch. Canned beans are incredibly convenient. Just be sure to rinse them well to remove excess sodium. Add a can of chickpeas to your salad. Swap ground beef for lentils in your chili or soup, or try a simple 3-bean salad as a side dish. If you're not used to eating a lot of fiber, start slowly to allow your digestive system to adjust. And while beans are a great source of many B vitamins, B12 is primarily found in animal products. If you eat a strictly vegetarian or vegan diet, it's critical to talk to your doctor about a B12 supplement. Beans are a fantastic source of protein, but they aren't what's called a complete protein on their own. That brings us to our next food, a plant-based superstar that is a complete protein. Let's look at number 6. Halfway through our countdown, at number 6 is a food that might be new to some of you, but is worth getting to know: quinoa. Here's what makes quinoa so special. Protein is made up of building blocks called amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids that our body cannot make on its own. A gentleman in a wellness class I taught was looking for alternatives to rice. He had type 2 diabetes and needed to manage his blood sugar. I introduced him to quinoa. He was thrilled. Not only was it better for his blood sugar because of the fiber and protein, but he found it more satisfying, and it kept him full longer. He started using it as a base for all his stir-fries and salads. Think of quinoa as a healthier, protein-packed substitute for rice or pasta. It's simple to cook. Just combine 1 part rinsed quinoa with about 1 3/4 to 2 parts water or broth. Bring to a boil, then cover and simmer for about 15 minutes. Make a big batch at the beginning of the week and use it as a side dish, the base for a salad, or add a scoop to your soup. Quinoa is generally very well tolerated and is naturally gluten-free. The most important step is to rinse it well in a fine mesh strainer before cooking to remove its natural coating called saponin, which can taste bitter. All right, we've made it to the halfway point. This is a perfect time to take a quick breath and recap what we've covered. Okay, let's pause the countdown. So far, we've talked about the importance of leafy greens for magnesium, fortified foods for vitamin D, nuts and seeds for antioxidants, beans and lentils for B vitamins, and quinoa for complete plant-based protein. The common thread here is that these foods provide the essential supporting cast, the vitamins, minerals, and protective compounds our muscles need to function at their best. This really drives home the idea that it's not about one magic food, but about creating a nutritional environment where your muscles have everything they need to thrive. It's a system, and by the way, if you're finding this information helpful and empowering, it would mean the world to me if you'd take a moment to tap that like button below. It's a small click for you, but it tells YouTube that this is valuable information, and it helps other folks just like you find our community. Thank you for that. Now, are you ready for the top 5? This is where we get into the real protein powerhouses and the game changers for stimulating muscle growth. Let's get back to it with number 5. Kicking off our top 5 is lean red meat, like a good quality sirloin or lean ground beef. Red meat is a protein powerhouse, but it offers 2 unique nutrients that are especially important for strength. The first is vitamin B12, which we touched on earlier, crucial for nerve health. The second is a compound called creatine. Your body naturally produces creatine, and it's stored in your muscles as a source of rapid-fire energy. It's what your muscles use for quick, powerful movements, like standing up from a chair or lifting something heavy. Red meat is the best dietary source of creatine. So, including lean red meat in your diet helps to top off your muscles' high-performance fuel tanks. My dad, Bob, always felt his best when he had a small portion of steak once a week. He'd say it put lead in his pencil. He was right. That combination of high-quality protein, iron for energy, B12 for his nerves, and creatine for power was giving his body a potent combination of muscle-building and strengthening nutrients. The key here is quality and portion size. You don't need a giant steak. A 3-ounce serving, about the size of a deck of cards, a couple of times a week is plenty. Choose lean cuts like sirloin, flank, or 90% lean ground beef. This gives you the benefits without an overload of saturated fat. If you have high cholesterol or a history of heart disease, it's essential to follow your doctor's advice regarding red meat consumption. And of course, anyone with kidney disease needs to discuss their protein intake with their healthcare provider. Red meat gives us power. Now let's look at a food that provides a 1-2 punch of bone support and a special type of slow-release protein. That brings us to number 4. At number 4, we have 2 dairy superstars, Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. These foods are famous for calcium, which is vital for bone density and muscle contraction, but they contain a secret protein weapon called casein. Most protein, like the whey in milk, digests quickly. Casein, on the other hand, digests very slowly. It forms a gel in the stomach, releasing a slow, steady stream of amino acids to your muscles over several hours. This is incredibly beneficial, especially overnight. Eating cottage cheese or Greek yogurt in the evening can help prevent your body from breaking down muscle tissue while you sleep, keeping you in a muscle-building state for longer. A client of mine, a retired nurse named Brenda, struggled with late-night snacking on chips and ice cream. I suggested she try a small bowl of cottage cheese with some berries instead. She was skeptical, but she tried it. She found it was not only delicious, but it kept her feeling full and satisfied, and she slept better. She was unknowingly giving her muscles that slow, steady trickle of protein they needed to repair and rebuild overnight. Incorporate a serving of plain Greek yogurt or low-fat cottage cheese into your day. Greek yogurt is fantastic for breakfast with some fruit and nuts. Cottage cheese makes a wonderful high-protein afternoon or evening snack. Look for plain versions to avoid added sugars, and you can add your own fruit for natural sweetness. If you are lactose intolerant, these may not be for you, though some people find Greek yogurt easier to digest. As always, if you have specific dietary restrictions, consult with your doctor or a registered dietitian. This slow-release protein protects our muscles. Now, let's talk about a food that actively fights the inflammation that tries to break them down. Let's move to the top 3 with number 3. Raking into our top 3, at number 3 is fatty fish, with the king of the category being wild-caught salmon. Salmon delivers high-quality protein and vitamin D, but its superpower is its high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. One of the hidden drivers of sarcopenia is chronic low-grade inflammation. This inflammation sends signals to your body to break down muscle tissue. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatories. They work at a cellular level to quiet that inflammatory noise, protecting your muscles from breakdown and creating a better environment for growth. Think of it as putting out the small fires that are constantly trying to damage your muscle tissue. I have a friend with rheumatoid arthritis, a condition with a lot of inflammation. His doctor put him on a diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods, with a focus on eating fatty fish twice a week. Not only did it help his joint pain, but he noticed he felt stronger and had more stamina. He was directly fighting the inflammation that was contributing to both his joint pain and his muscle weakness. The American Heart Association recommends eating 2 servings of fatty fish per week. A serving is about 3 to 4 ounces. The simplest way to cook salmon is to bake it. Place a fillet on a piece of foil, drizzle with olive oil, lemon juice, and herbs, and bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 to 15 minutes. It's quick, delicious, and there's almost no cleanup. If you're taking blood thinners, talk to your doctor before starting fish oil supplements, as high doses can have a blood-thinning effect. For diet, eating fish a couple of times a week is generally very safe and highly recommended. Fighting inflammation is critical. Now let's move to the workhorse of muscle building, a versatile and lean source of protein that should be a staple in any strength-focused diet. Here is number 2. Our runner-up. At number 2 is a familiar friend in the kitchen, lean poultry like chicken and turkey breast. Chicken and turkey are the gold standard for lean, high-quality protein. A single 3-ounce serving of chicken breast packs over 20 grams of protein with very little fat. This protein provides all the essential amino acids your body needs to repair the tiny micro-tears in your muscles that happen from daily activity and exercise, and then rebuild them stronger. It's the primary raw material for muscle maintenance. Its versatility, affordability, and high protein-to-fat ratio make it one of the most efficient ways to meet your daily protein needs without consuming excess calories. Think about any athlete's diet you've ever read about. What's always on the menu? Grilled chicken breast. There's a reason for that. It's a pure, effective source of the building blocks for muscle. My neighbor, A spry 82-year-old who still golfs 3 times a week swears by his routine. A big salad with grilled chicken on top for lunch every day. It's his fuel, and it works. Aim to include a serving of lean poultry in your lunch or dinner most days. A simple baked or grilled chicken breast is perfect. You can cook several at the beginning of the week to slice up for salads or sandwiches. Ground turkey is a great lean substitute for ground beef in sauces or meatballs. The key is the preparation method. Frying chicken adds a lot of unhealthy fats. Stick to baking, grilling, roasting, or poaching to get the benefits without the downsides. Chicken and turkey provide the essential building blocks. But what if there was one food that not only provided the blocks, but also contained the master key to unlock the muscle-building process itself? That brings us to our number one food. And here we are. The number one food to combat age-related muscle loss, according to the latest research, is the incredible edible egg. Why eggs? It comes down to one critical amino acid, leucine. Scientists have discovered that leucine acts like a master switch or a key in the ignition for muscle protein synthesis, the process of building new muscle. As we get older, our bodies experience something called anabolic resistance, which means that ignition gets a little sticky. We need a stronger signal to turn it on. Leucine provides that strong signal, and eggs are one of the richest and most bioavailable sources of leucine you can eat. Eating eggs is like sending a loud, clear message to your muscles. It's time to build. I'll never forget the advice from a geriatrics professor. The best thing an older adult can do for their muscles is to start their day with protein. He specifically mentioned 2 scrambled eggs. He said it sets the stage for the entire day, turning on that muscle-building machinery early and keeping it running. It's simple, powerful advice. Make eggs a regular part of your breakfast. 2 large eggs provide a powerful dose of leucine and about 12 to 14 grams of high-quality protein. Scrambled, poached, hard-boiled, it doesn't matter. They are affordable, easy to prepare, and easy to chew, making them perfect for seniors. For decades, eggs were villainized for their cholesterol. However, for most people, dietary cholesterol has little effect on blood cholesterol. Major health organizations now agree that an egg a day is perfectly safe and healthy. If you have specific concerns or have been advised by your doctor to limit cholesterol, of course, follow their guidance. So there you have it. 10 nutritional powerhouses from leafy greens all the way to the mighty egg. But how do we put this all together? As we've journeyed from number 10 to number 1, a powerful picture has emerged. Tackling age-related muscle loss isn't about finding one magic food or a single secret. It's about creating a system of smart, intentional choices. It's about ensuring your body has the protective antioxidants from nuts, the anti-inflammatory power of salmon, the nerve-supporting B vitamins from beans, the energy-sparking magnesium from greens, and the essential building blocks from quality proteins like chicken, yogurt, and eggs. The single most important message I want you to take away today is this. You are the CEO of your own health. You are in the driver's seat. Sarcopenia is a process, but it is not a destiny. Every meal is an opportunity to send your body a signal of strength and vitality. You have the power, starting with your very next meal, to change the conversation your body is having with itself, to turn down the static of inflammation and turn up the volume on growth and repair. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 10 foods was the biggest aha moment for you? Was it the role of magnesium in leafy greens, or the power of leucine in eggs? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I read every single one, and your insights help our whole community learn and grow. And if you found this deep dive valuable and you want more practical, science-backed content to help you live a stronger, more vibrant life, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell. That way, you won't miss our next video. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, every small step you take is a victory. Here's to your strength, your health, and your independence. I'll see you in the next video.